Hey guys, welcome to another session of FFBE Global News. Anniversary, the second anniversary, part 2 now, second week. I usually start off on the banners and the banner units, but I want to start out with the event first this week for the news, because I think the banner units and the featured banners that are in the news today are definitely up for discussion and probably takes longer to explain. I have my thoughts on it, which I will get to, of course. So we have Final Fantasy Brave Exvius event dungeon. Join the Grand Shelt Knights. Alright, so this is a King Mog event that was on JP's second anniversary, I believe. Again, because I didn't play JP at the time, it is definitely, you know, a lot of the guys on Discord, Reddit, giving me this information. So credit to them for sure. As you can see, here are the rewards for completing them. This is a King Mog event. All the way up to Elite and Legend, so 5,000 training Boken. You get 5,000 of them for completing Legend. As usual, the King Mog event is self-explanatory. You do these missions with as much bonus units as possible, and then you trade for tickets, items, Moogles, etc. Whatever you need, 6-star awakening materials, etc. Here's some event exclusive equipment. Cure Robe, alright, 20 magic, 42 spirit, and then boost fire, ice, lightning, water, wind, earth, light, dark by 10%. I think this is a pretty good one, especially we'll get some, we're gonna get a lot of trials coming down the line that needs full party elemental resistance, and then when you're stuck with the trial boss maybe doing AoE physical damage with AoE elemental magic damage, then you know, what do, right? You cover the physical part, but then what do you do with about the elemental? So it's probably really good to have this, even though it's kind of low magic, pretty low spirit, but not terrible. But having that 10% elemental resistance will come a long way, especially if you have elemental buffer. So I think Cure Robe is definitely one to go for. Here is Gaia Ocarina, 12 magic, 42 spirit, 10% MP, enable attack song, boost attack for all allies while singing. I'm thinking that this right off the bat, I think that the skill attack song most likely only boosts up to 30 to 40% attack. 50% attack might be really high for this equipment, but otherwise I think this is not as notable as Cure Robe. But again, if you're just like most people, even if you're veteran players or new players, you should pick this up anyway. You have no idea when you'll need something like this. And of course, when you're doing legend runs and elite runs, there's higher chances of running into some bonus enemies, which will drop bonus King Mog items, and accelerates even more, multiplies if you have the bonus units. So make sure you take them on. It does say that you want Demon Killer and Beast Killer, but in my experience, they have been pretty easy to kill. I think the very last enemy that was actually hard to kill was FF Type 0 banner, when the bonus unit was this kind of horse dude with Rem and King. That banner, that was actually hard. He was like as hard as the boss. But these guys, most of the bonus units going forward now are like one-hit KOs, depending on your players, your units. Here are the bonus characters. So this is a special King Mog event using the CG units that we have most likely collected up to this point. They're gonna be useful here, very useful. So as you can see, CG Laswell, Sakura, Fina, Jake, Lid, and Nicole are main protagonists of the story, giving us 100% bonus, which most of us, if you're veteran players, even free to play, I think you guys can run at least a full party of 5 100% bonus units with a friend unit. Most likely they're gonna keep that up for the King Mog event. So you have 600% going in. It's going to be, I think it's going to be an easy King Mog event for the most of us. Now if you are a new player, don't lose hope yet, because we do have some 4 stars, Vanille, Chizaru, and Riku for 75%, which is not terrible. So if you've been pulling in the past, I don't know, maybe 2 months, maybe you're a new player, you might have like 1 or 2 of them, so hopefully you will get some bonus up. And of course, add some friends with 100% bonus units, and yeah, you should be doing fine. I think minimum, if you have like 100% bonus units and the rest are 75%, you're still gonna really blow through the King Mog event really quickly. But for those of you who even follow me on YouTube or watch my videos, you know most of the units I have. I should be full party 600%, no problem every run, which is fortunate for me. But yes, so hopefully you guys have fun with this, and I'm looking forward to this event too. Now here's our banner, FFBE Hero Summon. Now this can get really tricky because this discussion crosses through several of these news banners. So one thing is we're gonna get a couple paired banners where our protagonists are the featured rainbows, and you'll see this advertised as you're reading your news that the rate increases for the banners, banner units, but then every single 10+1 summon, so usually 5k lapis pulls, you get a FFBE Heroes coin. You need 5 of these FFBE Hero coin to pull on another CG unit, which we'll get to. Basically a free one, so I'm doing air quotes as you won't be able to see, but a free CG unit, one of our 6 protagonists, every time you get 5 of these coins. So that means it costs about 25,000 lapis for you to get an additional guaranteed rainbow at least, but a random one, which we will get to as well. Here are the banners, so make sure you keep track of the dates so you don't miss out on a unit. So let's say if you're a free-to-play player and you need to grind lapis, or wait a couple days for like daily lapis to come in to get like a 5k pull, make sure you keep in mind of the deadlines here. Friday to Monday there to July 9th is the end of Hero Summon 1, and so make sure you don't miss any of these banners. So at this point, if you're new, these might be good banners to pull on. But right now, even in my Discord channel, there's a lot of discussion between a lot of the more experienced guys, debates on whether or not they should be pulling on these banners, and I myself, I'm gonna give you my thoughts on it. And the reason is because I do have all of the CG units except CG Lid at the moment, so my opinion will be biased towards obviously what I'm going to do. But hear me out. If my strategy or logic works for you, maybe you could apply to yourself. Of course, if you disagree and you need to pull on it, I'd say go for it. At this point, if you like need a CG Fina, this is most likely the best banner you can pull for it, because CG Laswell, even though he might not be great as a 7-star unit, which they will come soon, you should also be thinking about and planning out their STMRs and what they do as well. So I myself, I do own 1 CG Fina. I am waiting for my second one. I'm hoping that I get her for 7-star when the 7-star meta drops. But I do have 2 CG Laswell, so it becomes very it becomes debatable for me myself. I'm planning ahead. I'm like, should I be pulling on these? And it gets more complicated with the FFBE Heroes coin also in it. So every time you pull on a 5k on any of these banners, you get one of those coins, but it's not that you're guaranteed any of these units when you pull. So it gets really tricky. If you get really unlucky like me in my past couple of pulls, pulling 5Ks, so 25,000 lapis, might not even get you one of the rainbows you want in the banner. Now remember, their specific unit drop rates are higher, but I don't know if this means that other units will still be available in the pool. So get 1 of 6 featured units cinematically when summoning 5-star. Different units will feature with 3 different summon units. So I'm not quite sure if it's just locked to this pool. All right, it seems that it is. Oh yeah, nice. Oh, okay, it is. So 5-star pool consisting of only the FFBE protagonist only. Okay, so do not worry about off-banner rainbows. Scratch what I said. Now here are a couple things. Trust masteries and super trust masteries is always something that you should consider when pulling for the unit, even if the unit is not good themselves. But obviously CG Fina is very good. Her STMR and her trust mastery is a hairpin of purity. It's basically ribbon, so 100% resistance to all status ailments, but then with a really high spirit and pretty decent magic. And it's a headgear, so it really saves up your equipment slots if you're running like a full evasion unit and you want 100% resist for all ailments. Super Trust Mastery is pretty good as well. It's a single target, it's an ability, single target cast, 80% buff to all of your stats. So attack, defense, magic, and spirit. But if you're running a buffer that has a higher percent buff, let's say CG Nicole, then this effect pretty much doesn't stack, so you're gonna lose them. But it's a single target 2900 HP heal with a 1.2 mod, which is really high. It's a better pure white blessing for sure. And then recover 12% MP per turn and 2 LB fill per turn as well. So it is a better pure white blessing Ayaka's TMR. Now CG Laswell, his trust mastery is Azure Crimson Soul, 30% attack, 30% HP, 25% LB fill rate. And Laswell is really much all about the LB fill rate. Super trust mastery is a katana with 174 attack, 50% LB fill rate, and 10% Esper stats. Now 10% Esper stats is really good because it takes what the Esper stats are and give you 10% more of them that's applied to your unit. And for those of you who know, you can cap attack, and even when True Double Hand meta really surfaces, you can cap that as well. But Esper stats, you can also, it's a separate cap. So this gives you really high potential, especially later on when Oron drops. Really high potential to have this katana for someone like Oron, who benefits from his LB, who can benefit from the base attack and something like the Esper stat. So something to keep in mind when you're thinking about pulling for these units. CG Jake and Blossom Sage Sakura. Blossom Sage Sakura also has a really good TMR, 40% magic, 20% MP, and then 2 LB fills per turn. And her Super Trust Mastery is a robe with 77 magic base and 42 spirit, and also auto limit, so 1 LB per turn, and it resists lightning by 50%. Very useful all around. Again, something to consider. She is one of the strongest magic damage finishers currently in game, but obviously, you know, due to power creep, all this stuff will be for naught. But the Super Trust Masteries will be quite long lasting. At least they'll be all very important in the future. CG Jake, of course, known as CG Joke for most people. As a unit himself, he doesn't bring a very powerful kit. Even in the 7-star form, he won't find too many uses, but if you do pull him and get him, especially with the FFBE Heroes coin, which is again what I'm going to talk about later, then at least aim for his Super Trust Mastery. And his Trust Mastery is not completely crap, I guess. But basically, his Trust Mastery is an accessory, 25 defense, 25 spirit, and a 30% chance to absorb enemy spell MP cost, and a 30% chance to counter physical attacks with absorber, and self LB fill 3 I think per turn. And his Super Trust Mastery is 160 attack gun, and it's 1.3 times LB damage. So if you have this on someone with a really strong LB and that's a gunner, this might be very, very useful. So I had people asking me on Discord, is like, hey, where can we use CG Jake's STMR? And at least if you're playing on global, Olive might benefit from it, depending if Olive's 7-star is really good or not. Pending if she gets a 7-star, but we're assuming she does. And for CG Lid and CG Nicole, both have pretty good TMRs and STMRs as well. For CG Lid, she has Invigorator and it's an accessory. So mostly the important part is that it auto casts. It recovers the LB, so 2 LB per turn, and it recovers 10% MP. And also a single target heal every turn, 1,800. So having that with something like Pure White Blessing or basically Lid and CG Nicole both benefit from her TMR. And her Super Trust Mastery is a hammer, 154 attack, 20% HP, and a 3 LB fill per turn, and 50% more damage to machine monsters. The only thing about hammers is that not a lot of people can use hammers too effectively, so the STMR might be handy in the future, especially has Machine Killer in it. and is a very strong hammer, but at the moment I can't think of anyone that can really benefit from it. But as we do know that a lot of units are introduced later on when we're just like, oh crap, I wish I got that TMR or STMR for him or her, and this might be the case. And CG Nicole, as you know, if you follow me on YouTube, I have 4 of him now, so that means an STMR. So it really makes me debate whether or not I should be pulling on these banners, even if I don't have lid. So that is a pretty tough one. I have to think about it when this banner drops. But for Trust Mastery, Strategic Cape is a 40 defense, 52 magic, 38 spirit, so all around really good, and then 20% MP, and it also resists ice and water by 50%. So elemental resistance, especially a dual elemental resistance with 50%, is really high. It's really good to grab this if you have a CG Nicole, of course, and it benefits for himself as well because as you know, he's a dual elemental mage, if you want to call him a mage, ice and water, and so his kit will be very helpful for you. His Super Trust Mastery is very exciting. It's a rod with 151 magic, so very strong Super Trust Mastery already. Not the best Super Trust Mastery rod, but it's very good. So if you have multiple CG Nicoles like me, if I plan on pulling this and somehow get, I don't know, 2 CG Nicole STMRs, then it's gonna be pretty crazy. It has also 15% MP and HP, and recovers 75% HP, MP, and per turn, I think. I'm not quite sure, but also is supposed to have I think a 75% more increased damage with a Leviathan summon. So I'm not quite sure if this rod can actually be used on a summoner. No, I think no. I think I'm wrong there. I think I probably got mixed up with his trust ability myself. But regardless, his rod is still very good, so he's definitely something to consider. So that is it for this banner, and of course, whether or not you guys want to pull on this, it is depending on how many of these units you have. Obviously, if I were to pull, if I had none of these units, I would suggest pulling for the CG Sakura Laswell banner for Fina, and the Sakura CG Fina and Laswell banner for Fina specifically. And for Sakura and Jake, I personally might skip it myself. Of course, CG Sakura is good, but I would almost risk it for the FFBE hero coins to potentially get a random drop of CG Sakura. And CG Nicole and CG Lid, if you don't have 2 Nicoles, and if you don't have Lid, this one is probably, out of the 3, I would find the most useful. A buffer and a breaker. It's definitely going to come a long way in future trials, while the other ones, you can fill in their roles for other units. Yeah, that's my thoughts on it at least. Now here is the featured summon, FFBE Heroes Coin Summon. Okay, so summon only the 6 protagonist units with the CG limit burst. So of course these units are back here, and this is what I was explaining from the previous news segment. So available from July 6th, but this also lasts to Wednesday, August 1st. So really about a whole month you can pull these. Now if you remember the rules, it is every 5k pull you get one of these coins. So I believe that transfers onto banners that will come in the week following. So let's say if Awakened Rain or someone like Reagan drops in the next couple banners, or even I don't even know who's coming, but whatever banner is coming, every 5k pull you pull there should also get you one of these hero coins. And like I said, it's every 25,000 lapis spent, you get one of them, which guarantees one of these units. But at the same time, it's random. So it's very difficult for me. Like I'm very into FFBE, as you guys can tell. So I'm not just like reading the news, I'm also putting in my thoughts and what I really think I'm going to do. So at this point, I'm not quite sure. Obviously, like I said, I can use a couple of these units. I could use a couple more dupes to get 7-star Fina, and I wouldn't mind a Laswell STMR, but I would need 2 of him. CG Sakura STMR I wouldn't mind either, and I need my first Lid. So I mean, there's a lot of units here, but because it's all random, I almost wish that you could choose. Like getting spending 25,000 lapis, it would be really nice if you can actually choose the unit. But it is what it is, and it's going to be random, so I'm not quite sure how I feel about this. Of course, if you guys are spending from the previous banner and you want your CG units, this is the best bang for buck. Obviously, pull your heart out. Not literally pull your heart out. You know what I mean. Pull until you're satisfied and get those units, and then you get some of these on top. But like I said, I think the best strategy for those of you who may have some of these units already, it might not be worth chasing all of the banners, maybe only 1 or 2, and then saving your 5k pulls for banners that are coming later. And so until August 1st, the deadline to summon with these hero coins, that might be the best result. All right, I think so. If I'm gonna pull on these banners, I might pull on the CG Nicole and Lid one, and maybe the Fina one, but I am going to skip the Jake and Sakura one entirely. It's just because playing FFBE JP, I know too many magic finishers that do kind of push CG Sakura out in terms of usefulness, but it is what it is. All units will eventually face power creep. So we have the 2nd anniversary short stories. So basically it's like season 1 with the Training of the Crimson Soul or something, Training of the Soul. But for these, you use your CG units, and when you clear them, you get special abilities for that unit specifically. So sadly, they're not equipable. But if you want your CG units to be even more awesome, complete these stories. So you also get lapis. Like I think it's like 100 lapis per segment of the story, and each unit has like a different number of story sessions. So expect some free lapis, and it's pretty simple to say the least. Pretty simple. And yeah, so for CG Laswell, we get Nightly Bonds. So you boost his attack by 20%, fire ice resistance by 30%, chance to ignore fatal damage if your HP is above a certain point. So this will just be unlocked in his kit once you have completed the story, so definitely try that out. Nameless Gunner Jake, so Gunsmoke Memories, AL type analysis up, so boost attack by 20%, and then physical damage to stone and machine monsters, I assume it's 50%, and increased burst stone fill rate, which is maybe +1 LB per turn. Again, CG Jake being very weak, hopefully these extra killers will find more uses for him, so you can use him in actual trials, but most likely you probably wouldn't. So still sad for CG Jake, but a pretty good ability all around. CG Lid, Bazooka of Love, AJ type camouflage oil is really good, especially if your Lid has high HP and high spirit, because if she somehow can become like a provoke tank, and with this you have innate provoke, so it says decreased chance of being targeted, which actually means camouflage, so my bad. So it's not going to be that good, I guess. So add a chance of restoring HP when receiving physical damage and fill LB gauge. I think it's LB gauge for herself, it might be for the party, I'm not quite sure. But if you're decreased chance of being targeted, most likely this skill and ability won't really go off, so it's kind of sad to see. But I guess for a breaker, you want to keep them alive anyway, so possibly just having it for the camouflage effect is good, and perhaps there's an AoE skill that a trial boss or someone is doing. If it hits your CG Lid, at least you could restore some HP, or at least a chance of. And CG Nicole's is pretty good. Boosts HP and MP and water resistance by another 20% if you get this family bonds. So it already makes him more beefy than he already is. So it is definitely one to go for. CG Sakura's isn't super great, but at least you nullify stone for her completely. So restore HP every turn as well, which is still better than nothing. It really increases her passives and her versatility more, because she already has some status ailment resistance, I think. So it really helps, because the stone and sleep are annoying. And Lotus Mage Fina, so we have a boost earth and dark resistance by 30% and restore MP every turn. The restoring MP part is really good because CG Fina's skills do drain MP really fast, and her Manatopia, while it does fill MP to all the rest of the party, and it has a AoE party MP refresh, it doesn't really increase hers. So even if this restore MP is 10%, it's still going to be good. So also there's another thing is that in each mission there's going to be specific units you can use. Alright, so make sure you check those out. And also another thing is that these abilities are unlocked even if you don't have the unit. So if you can beat it and you don't have that CG unit, and let's say you don't have CG Jake and you beat it and you pull CG Jake later, apparently the skills actually unlock upon pulling him. So you don't have to complete it again. That's what I'm saying. So anyways, that is it for this. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun all around. And that is it for the news. Very exciting second anniversary so far, as you guys are still logging in daily, of course, hopefully, to collect your daily rewards. Very exciting times. We just hope that this kind of hype continues to build, and of course that Gumi will keep being consistent, keep doing a good job in their maintenance schedules and updating their news as well. I think a lot of people were freaking out that there was no news. Of course, I had my hopes. There was no reason for there not to implement some new events or new news, since all of our events are ending this week anyways. But anyways, let me know your thoughts, guys. Are you excited about this? What are your thoughts on the banners and my discussion and my logic behind them? Obviously, like I said, because of the second anniversary short stories, you might consider pulling for one of each of these units. But maybe again, you might be smart and say that, you know, I'll wait for Jake from an off banner drop, you know, get trolled. That happens a lot to me. I get a lot of deletas. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you check out the Discord server. So our JaganX Discord server, tons of awesome guys there, passionate guys, and a lot of passionate discussions. Of course, you're gonna get differing opinions. So if your opinions don't match up with someone else's, don't feel bad about it. All right, it's not meant to be everyone thinks the same way. It's meant to be a forum where we can have fun together and discuss and help each other out. If you guys have Twitter, follow me on Twitter and subscribe to YouTube if you haven't. As always, thank you guys for your support and watching these videos, and I'll see you next time.